Alright, so today we're continuing on with this series of beating the very hard difficulty of Guild Quest only using special move level 1 out of 5 characters, which for the most part means only level 10 attack or level 10 SP depending on the character we are using. Now in this case, for this particular phase, we are using a range of ESPADA killers, and now that we have access to the top 10 most used characters, you can get a quick glance at what characters people are using. In this case, to no one's surprise, the 2 most usable characters are the 2 best leads for this particular Guild Quest: Beyond Resurrection Aaroniero, the renewed version, and also Cacao Society version. If you don't have those 2 characters, your next best option is going to be Sam Vanaverse Ichigo, mainly for the crowd control and also the fact that he does have a ranking killer, and ideally you would only want to really do that if you do have 2 good sides. In this case, if we actually have a look at the sides, you'll once more see similar characters. In this case, Cacao Society Aaroniero being a good lead while also being a good side, you can really use him either way. Aaroniero, definitely one of the better sides and a character we are using in today's video. And then we also have Yukio, your designated team booster for this particular phase, who unfortunately the character I do not own. From my testing alone, what you can do is build a similar team like this, and this is the first thing that we are going to be using in today's video. So we have renewed Aaroniero. This is the accessories that we are using, the standard right when it comes to the ESPADA GQ. We are using not really that many worked on links. At most they only have like level 10 SP. Of course, as always, if you are finding yourself struggling to beat this particular quest but you have a good set of characters, the next best thing to do is probably work on your soul trace to make your main DPS characters even better. As you can see here, we have already gone ahead and removed the level 10 focus slot, so only level 10 SP with full stamina and also SP as bonus abilities. Our next best in slot is going to be Aaroniero. In this case, we're using a golden Chappy Hollow Bait with these 3 particular links, giving us a good set of normal attack damage increase here. Now you might be wondering, why are we using a 30% full stamina damage soul trait? Well, since I know Aaroniero is going to be able to stay at full stamina, giving him 30% full stam instead of 30% or 20% normal attack damage is actually better, since it's a different multiplier, a multiplier this character doesn't have built in. This is an example where it's actually good to mix and match. You don't always need to build normal attack damage. Sometimes getting that extra multiplier definitely does go a long way. In this case, he is 5 out of 5, but we have removed the level 10 focus and attack slot, so for the most part, he only has level 10 attack, which is 500 attack. Of course, with that, bonus abilities are going to be full stamina and also attack. And then our third character is going to be our next best team booster. Again, ideally, and to make it significantly easier for you, you do want to use Yukio. I don't have Yukio, so I have to use the next best thing, which in this case is Orihime. Realistically, any character with a boost and also barrier does do the job here, regardless of their killer, but in this case, Orihime is running a +5 barrier and also a booster skill, so my teammates are getting 43% attack and also focus. These are the accessories, not like it matters anyway, and again, the links also don't really matter. She's not doing damage, she's here to boost our team with that SA2, so we have given her free 40% recharge soul traits. With that said though, let's jump into the run. Alright then, so jumping into the run, it's relatively simple. Since Aaroniero does have a tracking vortex on the SA2, I like to use it straight away just to group everyone up. More often than not, you do actually take down most of the enemies. If 1 or 2 enemies are left alive, Aaroniero should actually clear them up. The first boss this time around is actually the easiest, given the boss itself is a speed character. The second boss is where we do most of our damage, so preferably for this particular phase, you would actually like to inflict the status so you can get through it faster, because remember, Aaroniero is a tech character. He's one of our main DPS characters. For the most part, as always, you want to have a SA2 Vortex ready next time the phase does start. In this particular part, I was kind of waiting for Aaroniero to finish up the mob, but he started to use strong attacks, so we wasted a few seconds there, but for the most part, the SA2 is always ready to go whenever a new wave does spawn in, and I think there's a bit of RNG to this run. You do really want to take down the sites as fast as possible. You want to, of course, inflict star elements, but you also want to make sure Aaroniero is attacking the main boss, because if you waste time, or more so if he wastes time attacking mini-mobs, that's a lot of wasted DPS. I chose to save my stubborn when the SP boost does wear off. In this case, we actually did apply burn and weakening, and Aaroniero was able to get a pretty decent damage buff, and with that, we cleared with 4 seconds left. Pretty decent run. It only took me like 5-7 minutes to actually get this particular run. It was definitely closer than I wanted it to be, so there's definitely ways to improve this again. Any focus slot on Aaroniero or Aaroniero significantly speed up this run, and to a certain extent, this run was only possible thanks to the recent buff that we did get with the bonus affiliation, so we are getting a tad bit extra stats. Everyone's extra stats are going to look a tad bit different. I can't remove those, unfortunately, but we are already handicapping ourselves already as is. We're using 2 characters with killer here. If we had that third character in the case of Yukio, this run would have been so much easier. So if you don't have someone like Yukio, you want to make this run easier for you, having that focus slot on Aaroniero or Aaroniero, or at least having some well-built links, would definitely speed up this run and also make it a lot easier. Onto our second team though. In this case, we are using 2 NAD characters, one of them being our main lead. As already stated, Aaroniero makes for a really good lead despite him being a normal attack damage character, and the main reason for that is because he himself does have a high damage output, but most importantly, that sword bomb. He has a debuff on that sword bomb which lowers their defense by 80%, so you're able to clear one particular phase significantly faster, and that definitely helps out the run, because this run actually was a lot easier to get, and it was much faster compared to the previous team that we just showcased. So Aaroniero, again, similar build, going to Chappy Hollow Bait. We're using 3 normal attack damage soul traits, one of them being resurrected, giving normal attack damage plus more damage out full stamina. Only level 10 attack with full stamina and also attack as bonus abilities. Aaroniero is the exact same. Maid Orihime is the exact same. Let's jump into the run. All right, so second team. This is our first attempt, so it definitely is a consistent team for the most part. What you want to do right away is use your SA3 to inflict a stat summon. It does give you your best chance of inflicting a stat summon since it is a vacuum vortex type of attack, and there's also quite a few enemies. So whenever a new wave does start and you have that SA3, you want to use it right away. Now, unfortunately for the second wave, which is one of our slowest ones, given the boss is a power character, we didn't get the attack boost again, and also Orihime did also inflict a stat summon. Maybe that was good, I'm not too sure, but it did give us enough time that the SA3 came back, going into a new wave, so we did want to, of course, use that SA3 once more, and lucky for us, we did get the attack boost. I would like to say this wasn't the best example of a run, because we do take hits, you're about to see that in a minute, or a few seconds, and the attack boost didn't actually once more inflict on the 4th boss, which is a hot character. So, you know, you ideally want to inflict a star summon here, just to clear this wave even faster, because you do have attribute advantage, but maybe that's one of the ways where you don't want to inflict the star summon because you clear fast anyway. Into the 5th wave, we use the SA3 and Soul Bomb. That applies the attack boost if the SA3 didn't. And you'll see that we cleared significantly faster, right? Because we did apply the debuff. It did slow us down a tad bit that some enemies are left alive, but that's what happens when you're using 2 NAD characters. There's going to be a lot of leftover enemies, so you want to make sure you focus on them if you possibly can. In this run, despite us taking damage, not really getting the luckiest with the attack boost, only inflicting it 3 times, including our Soul Bomb, we still cleared on our first attempt and also cleared with 7 seconds left. So I would actually recommend more so using this team. It's honestly a very good team. Definitely does work, especially if you have Orihime to ride you with the barriers and also team boost. Onto our third team, we are once more using Aaroniero as our main character. This time though, we're using 2 Aranki killers, so characters that don't really do much damage to the boss. They're most of here just to speed up the process of taking down the minimobs, the Arankas, while also providing support with the Vortex, and of course also the boost from Aizen. So Aaroniero as our main is the exact same, nothing's changed here. Since he is your main and like really only DPS character against the bosses, having the focus slot here really does help out big time. Aizen is going to be our team booster and also barrier, definitely does help us out here with the protection and extra DPS. So of course with him we're using a golden Chappy Hollow Bait with recharge and full stamina damage soul traits. Recharge and no attack damage as a soul trait combination really doesn't exist. I believe this attribute has access to 2 of those, but we just kept it simple, recharge and full stam, right? He's got level 10 stamina because I didn't want to remove that slot, it didn't matter. Level 10 attack is the main thing we're looking at here. Their DPS doesn't matter that much, but he does have full stamina and attack as bonus abilities. And then Ichigo is going to be our Vortex character, take down the mini mobs, maybe do a bit of damage with his SA3. This is the build that we are using on him, and in his case we're going with a mixture of recharge, full stamina, and also strong attack damage. Again, we removed his Transcendence. The stamina slot doesn't make that much of a difference. If he dies, just restart the quest. Main thing you're looking at in terms of the DPS damage output is the level 10 SP, and he has full stamina and also SP as bonus abilities. With that said, let's jump into the run. All right then, so I will say this one's definitely, it's a lot messier. It didn't take that long to get the run. I beat up my second attempt here, but it's a lot messy to look at because the enemies are all over the place, right? Once more, whenever you can, use that SA3 on a group of enemies to give your best chance of getting the attack boost. You are definitely more reliant on getting the attack boost in this particular team since you're the only DPS in the team, right? With Aaroniero doing damage at the same time, you can maybe get away without getting the attack boost, but definitely more ideal to get the attack boost maybe once every phase. With the barriers from Aizen, we're able to stay somewhat protected, but ideally you do want to try and like back yourself into your team so the characters or the bosses can go after them. Just to give you that extra bit of protection, right? Because you don't want to take damage. If you do, you can get back up to full stamina, but ideally, you don't want to take any damage, right? Now, if you can inflict an attack boost against Aaroniero, again, that's the best thing because you clear this phase a lot faster since you have attribute advantage. As you can see there, we took down Aaroniero super quick, faster than actually any of the mini-mobs. Going into the final phase, we use the SA3 to group them up, then also Soul Bomb. Maybe better to use Soul Bomb and then SA3, but I mean, the order probably doesn't matter too much. Was a kind of a risky run, as you can see there, we were coming down to the last second or two, but we did kill Aaroniero with like 4 seconds to spare. There was one leftover enemy, which happened to this team, right? Again, it's a messy team. But in this case, we were still able to clear with 2 seconds to spare. Any focus slot on Aaroniero definitely increased the speed and also difficulty of clearing this quest, because getting the guaranteed criticals and more damage in your criticals definitely does go a long way. Moving on to our next and also final team. This is the easy one to make, the one that you'll easily be able to use and beat if you have this team. So again, we're going to be using Aaroniero as our main lead here. In this case, I'm on my ult account, so my links and also characters are looking completely different, right? But we are going to go with the standard build here. T-set, Masanga, and also Fortification Pill with these 3 particular soul traits. We have removed our Transcendence to only level 10 SP, but keep in mind our summon is going to be hitting a tad bit harder, but for the most part it won't make a difference. With full stamina and also weakened defense as bonus abilities, you definitely can just give SP. I think that would be better here, but in my case I don't want to change it. We have weakened defense, it's good enough as is, right? Whether it's weakened defense or SP, we are going to beat it. Then we have Aaroniero. Now one thing I will say, you are definitely tight on accessories because you are using 2 technique characters. I'm lucky enough to have 2 golden chappies. If you were to give one a golden chappy though, if you do have one, definitely give it to Aaroniero because he's your main DPS. So again, golden chappy hollow bait with 3 no attack damage soul traits. We removed our Transcendence, but basically he does have level 10 attack with full stamina and damage to burning enemies. Again, I'm being lazy here. Keep that in mind. Give him attack, not damage to burning. It'll be a lot better and faster with attack as a bonus ability. Our third character, Team Booster, that being Yukio. Again, golden chappy hollow bait. Since we want him to be our Team Booster, we are giving him recharge and also full stamina damage, just so he can do damage himself while also boosting our team. Level 10 attack with full stamina and also attack. So even though we are using a pretty good team here, understand there's room for improvement with the bonus abilities, but it shouldn't really matter all too much. So for this particular run, since it's our final team, we are going to do live commentary. So what we're going to do right away is use our SA2 to group everyone up. This team is actually the fastest team that you can actually use. One thing you'll notice though is that you are prone to taking damage because you have no vortex characters. So if anything, even though it's a pretty easy team, you might find yourself resetting just to make sure you're doing damage to the enemies, but also making sure that you can keep your teammates safe, right? Because when we get to like the final stage, you are prone to almost getting one shot for the most part, especially against those spinny Aroncars. Unfortunately for us, Yukio's taking damage, but it doesn't matter too much. Lucky for us too, at the same time, Grimjar was locked onto us, so all we have to do is just kite it around, make sure our teammates don't take damage. We inflicted an SP boost, you love to see it. Want to make sure we can take down all these mini-mobs. Aaroniero, I think, is focused on us. Let's use our SA2 there, and then SA1 upwards to take down that small enemy. Gonna go down, sit far away. Then we're going to use our soul bomb here. Now, in my case, I'm 5'5", so keep in mind my summon does hit a tad bit harder, but it shouldn't make that much of a difference. Our 2 teammates there are now doing the damage, and we just got to wait for them to finish up. It's taken a lot longer than I thought it would, but I think we kind of got maybe unlucky with the RNG. Maybe status element procs, we didn't get much SP boost, wasn't really keeping track of that, but at the same time, Yukio did take damage too. So if there's any way to improve it, 1, give the Aaroniero an attack bonus ability, and then give Aaroniero the SP bonus ability, because that's definitely a way to improve this team. But even with those, bad builds for the most part, we were still able to clear it first attempts. But that should be expected, right? It's the go-to team, your main SP, your main NAD dealer, and then also your team booster. With that said, though, that was the video for today, trying out 4 different teams, tackling the very hard ESPADA GQ. Not one of the easy ones out there, but it really, again, depends on the characters you do own. Lucky for us, there's a lot of premium characters to use for this particular week, so it's definitely not the hardest one out there. But as always, it does come down to your characters. And even if you have the right characters and you find yourself maybe still not beating or running out of time, well then maybe it's time to start looking into making some better links. Either way, hope this video helped. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Take care and peace.